Today's the day I put electricity inside my little shed. I had the shed delivered last year, late in the season. I never got a chance to put electricity in it. And I've been waiting to do this for a while, but finally it's time to turn it into the lovely little escape that I wanted it to be this whole time. It's got my tools in it now, it just needs to get some juice in there. And it's not all that easy to figure out, actually, but it should be. I just want to put a couple of outlets in the bench, above the bench here, and I've gotten a couple products I needed to send away for it that they don't necessarily have on the shelf at Home Depot. So up until now I've had to drag in the extension cord and then plug it into a power strip or whatever, and it's a pain in the butt. You know, this is what it could look like all the time if I just had power going directly into here. Oh, are you going to turn on for me automatically? Yes. Oh, Bluetooth on the the light there, and
the Dixieland Pickup Band.
Whatever that is.
If you're not in the 50s mode and mood and
Maybe I'm not in a 50s mood or mode, although I was born in the 50s. Okay, so anyway, what I did is I went online and I discovered that, because you couldn't find in the stores, an outlet that I guess is used for RVs a lot, where this is a Leviton, and you just have a regular outlet that you'd plug an extension cord into. This is the male end. You'd plug the female end over here. This has to go in through the outside. I figured this was 3/4 or 1 3/4 inch thick. So I got a hole saw, a lovely dozer by Milwaukee, and I'm going to be drilling that through the outside and putting this in there, and then putting a couple of outlets. This is going to be a double outlet here. I'm going to put another double outlet over there, and I'm going to have the ability to plug stuff into work on my bench, and I can't wait. Really can't. This is a Leviton 5278 CWP. It's a I guess it's used for motorhomes or whatever. I'm going to be using it for my shed. On the inside it has 3 different inlets. We have one for hot, one for neutral, and one for ground, and I'll be putting my Romex into there, but I'm going to attach this to the outside of the house, and it has a little pad here that's going to be going on the inside. That'll keep the weather out. So I'm going to go up, put that in from the outside. So I've made a mark on the wall here where I'd like to go. I'm going to start from the inside first. So I got to go upside down. And the cool part about normally this, I can already see out going through the outside, so I'm going to come from the outside in. That way I won't have any splintered wood. So you get to see this from 2 angles. What's wrong with this picture? It is, I can't get at the screw on the other side to tighten it, so I'm going to have to pull this thing out and install the wires from the outside and then put it back in. Alright, they got to come out so that I can wire it on the outside. Ah, it's going to stay there. Perfect. All right, I'm going to shove the cord through, and then I'm going to wire it, and then I'm going to put it back in. Okay? Nice and tight. Not going anywhere. And then I'm going to get some electrical tape and wrap that up and put it on the inside and screw it back in place, which I'm sure you can figure out. So you can see I hammered in the old work blue plastic double gang outlet there, and I pulled the Romex through, and now I'm going to get it set up so that I can hook up to these. Now on a GFCI you have line and load. Line, you can see there on the top, that's where the power is going to go into, the power from the house. And the load is what's going to go to the rest of the outlets. So the load will be the other 3 outlets. They'll all be protected by this GFCI, because if anything does happen, which probably will, because I am likely to have shorted something out on this bench, because I always do. But it's nice to have this protection in place so that I don't have to go all the way back to the house. and hit the reset there, and that's a 20 amp. This is a 15 amp, and I'm going to wire everything as a 15 amp inside of this shed, even though I have a 20 amp outlet over there. I just want to be safe. So I've cut a piece of Romex out, and I'm going to take the internal wires out to jumper them between the two outlets, so I can go from line to load. I'm going to take this off of here and always go from the black to the gold ones. See the gold? Always black to gold. On this side, I'm going to take this off of here. And the white, of course, goes to the neutral, or this side. So I'm going to go play with this. Here's another little fun fact. If you're plugging into a 15 amp outlet, you're going to wind up not being able to push them in through those holes for a snap connection, because the 14 gauge wire is a lot thinner than the 12 gauge wire. So you'll just have to strip these off a little bit more and make a nice little U and hook them up with the screw, which I kind of tend to do anyway, because it's a little bit more of a secure connection. It doesn't pull out. Sometimes those little push-in connectors don't always hang on the way it should. Black to gold. Squeeze it in place. And the same thing on this side. We're going to go, all right, here we are, white to white, gold to gold. These are gold. Now I just have to wire it in. So now I can see that I've got the two cables hooked up. I've got the exterior one going to the GFCI. I've got that jumpered over to my other outlet, and now I've got a cable coming here that I'm going to connect to the positive and negative and run it over to the other side so that I have another two outlets. And then I'm going to go to, from there, a switch. This is simple stuff here. I always like to leave a little bit of room for extra cabling, because I hate it when there's not enough cable in the box, and every electrician will tell you the same thing. Don't cut it too short. Make sure that you've got some room in there. So we're going to go to the 12 gauge. Oops, that was not 12. There we go. We'll strip that out. So here we have everything set up. We've got the 4 wires from all the grounds. We've got one ground going here, one ground going here, one from the intake to the house, and one to the next jumper that's going over to the other box there. And I'm going to pigtail all of those together so that I don't have an open ground. And there's other ways to do this. There's many different methods of hooking all your grounds together. But yeah, don't forget to do your grounds. Stay grounded. There. It's all taped up and pushed back in.
Wow.
Oh man, it's gonna be beautiful. Okay, there's my first junction box with the GFCI in first place, followed by that one. And I'm going to then drill holes underneath here through the studs, and I'm going to drill a 3/4 inch holes to get over to that one, and then bring it back up and put another junction box in. Okay, now I've got the other box set up, and also a switch that's going to be going to a light overhead in the main part. And you can see there's white coming in from the other side, there's the white going out to this side, and then the white going over to this side. And the white in this case connects to the white that's on here, and the two blacks go together on the switch side. So actually when you switch it on, you just create continuity for that electricity to go through the line there. So that's a little bit different wiring that can confuse some people and sometimes me. But all
ground wires are pigtailed together. This ground wire is pigtailed to the ground wire that's running up to the light that I'm going to put in later. So I'm going to push all this crap in there because it's super tight with the 12 gauge. But we'll see the result in a second. Yeah, here we go. The electrified shed, all hooked up. Looking good. Switch goes up to the light and the fan above. Why don't I turn that fan on? It's kind of warm in here. Cool. What I did was I ran a cable up and around, and it's a I think it's called Greenfield. It's metal covered so that if anything happened inside of here and hit it, it would not short it out. And it goes behind here all the way up to a fan that I installed that's blowing out the vent because it's really hot in here. And then of course there's a little light. I got a pull switch to that too. So I put the switch all the way over to the right side because I also do have a grinder down here. And if I want to plug something into that switch or into that outlet, I can plug it in from over on this side. As it is, it's going to that fan and the light above it. I can switch this on and off from my bench. Which, how cool is that? Woo! So, you know, I'm all set up. I can see now. I got a little pull chain because this light gets too bright once in a while. Oh, this is really wrong. I've got my old surround sound receiver stuck, plugged in here, going to my television set. And if I decide I wanted to listen to something in surround, I can hear it. I got my center speaker up here. And we're all plugged in.
Storms are possible, mainly north and west of the metro. Guys,
I'm not missing anything while I'm being out here.
KSTP.
And I got a nice place to work.
We're broadcasting, celebrating 100.
With its all its tools and everything else. So it's not a bad way to finish her all off. I love this joint.